our core psychology and how we can use this core psychology in our businesses and with our team. So our core psychology has three components: is what we think of ourselves, what we think of others, and what we think of the world. So at the highest scale of this core psychology is the first one, is like thinking of what do you think of yourself, is like learning to see how awesome you are without no ego, of course. Learning to see how awesome you are, how beautiful you are through a spiritual experience, of course, whenever you realize that a higher power created you and is giving you the opportunity to exist and being able to see those gifts that you have within you. That's part of your psychology. And whenever you fall in love, you know, with yourself, like I said, with no ego, then you're going to be able to see and admire those around you because the same higher power that created you created them. And you're going to be able to see how beautiful and how awesome they are because they were created by the same creator that created you. So our core psychology, whenever we truly dive deep and learn to see who we are and how awesome we are with no ego, and then learn to see how awesome and how beautiful the people around us are, we're one step ahead. And the third section of our psychology, that is what we think of the world, I truly believe that our ultimate goal is to fall in love with humanity. That's it. That's the ultimate goal. But in reality, we're going to die trying, right? Because there are so many controversial topics out there, like the laws for immigration, vaccination, abortion, religion, gun control, that divide us, right? And it makes it hard for us to fall in love with humanity because we begin to think, oh, they're wrong, I'm right. So that's where there is a crack in our psychology. Whenever we begin to see, those people out there are wrong and I'm right. But in reality, it's like we all have had different experiences in life that has create those beliefs. Like let's talk about gun control for just a second. Maybe you had experiences through your childhood that allows you to believe one way or another. Same thing on the other side. They had experiences through growing up that allows them to believe that the way they're thinking is right. So now let's move on to leadership. I was just trying to bring examples of how our core psychology matters. It's like what we think of ourselves matters, what we think of others, and what we think of the world are the three most powerful subjects that kind of guide our psychology, guide like our everyday behavior. And in our leadership at a lower scale, okay, in our everyday life, we can teach our people to learn to see, like to see themselves, to see the beauty of themselves. It's like, what are the gifts that you bring in to the workplace every day? What are those superpowers that define you? What are some, maybe a new core value that you want to master? But if we begin to be curious in the workplace and guide our employees, our people, to see, what is their psychology, and then, help them see what the gifts of the team, of the co-workers are in the workplace. If we learn to see what are the beauty, the awesomeness of our team, then our psychology is going to begin to tilt to a positive environment. And then the third one would be, like what do they think of the mission of the company? What do they think of the mission and vision of your company? How could you help them fall in love with the vision? that they show up to work every day because they appreciate their gifts. They appreciate their teams because they know what's the beauty. They know the beauty and the awesomeness that they bring to the team in order for you guys to have higher production, in order for you guys to create the right work environment. So I'm trying to bring awareness today so that you can see that all starts with our core psychology. And what it is, what do we think of ourselves? What do we think of others? And what do we think of the world? And if I'm sharing it with you, is because I have seen it. I have seen how when people begin to believe in themselves, when people begin to tilt their identity to, I know I'm worthy of doing this, I know I'm capable of doing this, then you begin to see the change, because then they begin to see that others can as well. And then they begin to see a beautiful world. So I'm not just making up this information. It's stuff that I have lived, and I'm continuing to see the progress in people around me, how they're practicing it, and how we can implement it in our everyday life because it works. So think of think what do you think of you? What is the psychology that you have? What is your internal voice that talks to you every single day? I hope it's a positive one. I hope it's an encouraging one that is helping you move forward with a smile every day. Because when we watch the news, it can get very discouraged. We can lose hope for humanity, right? But like I said, the ultimate goal, in my very personal opinion, is to fall in love with humanity. And it's an everyday choice, because sometimes we get discouraged about what we've seen on the news. But it is within us. It is within us to find the beauty. It's within us to find the good in people. So I just want to bring awareness today, that our core psychology begins with how we think of ourselves, how do we think about those around us, and how do we think of the world. So now if we can minimize that to a work environment and teach our workers to see, to bring the awareness. Okay, what is your internal psychology? What do you think about people? If you can bring awareness of the gifts that everybody in the team brings every single day, for them to fall in love as well with the mission and the vision of the company, and create, a healthy, happy environment. Blessings to you all. Happy Friday. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.